Hello kids! Good morning once again, or good day once again. This is Teacher Alan. Today we will have a review of the lessons we had 2 weeks ago. You were taught of the following: the writing process to start writing the beginning part of the story. So we have the pre-writing, the drafting, revising, and proofreading. In pre-writing, we used a graphic organizer in the story map to help us plan what story to write. In drafting, you were taught how to describe what was illustrated or drawn from the graphic organizers and put every details into sentences or paragraph form. In revising, you learn how to reread your own draft and seek for someone's help to revise work by taking nonsense part of the story out and or adding interesting topics to make the story better. You were taught to you knew about the cups, the editor's mark to edit or proofread one's own work and rewrite the entire draft after proofreading before submitting it to me or to the teacher. Do not forget that in writing a story or any forms of writing, we always have to follow the writing process, kids. So what are those writing processes? We are writing, drafting, revising, editing, and publishing. So in pre-writing, this is where we brainstorm, we organize our ideas, we plan our writing. In drafting, can you still remember? You wrote your first copy of the beginning part of the story. You used sentences in paragraphs. And then in revising, you read your write-ups and you made it sure that it sounds right to you. You added, you removed, or you changed words, and you rearranged sentences. For editing, you fix spelling errors, you check for proper capitalization, and you check also if you had used punctuation at the end of any sentences. The publishing part, we will deal with it the sooner we finished the entire story. Okay, the beginning, the middle, and the end. As for now, we're just mainly focusing on the beginning part of the story. So what we did in the pre-writing stage, remember we used graphic organizer and story map to help us plan the beginning part of the story. So this is my example. I used a graphic organizer. This is my character. The graphic organizer helped us decide what kind of character that we want to use or that we want to have in our story. We also used the story map. We used story map to illustrate what our beginning story may look like in a drawing and help us write about it. So in the pre-writing stage, we used both of them. Character profile, graphic organizer, and the story map. So what we did in the drafting stage, we put everything, descriptions, details, etc. we had from the graphic organizers and story map into a paragraph form. So this is my example. Now I put everything into paragraph form. So I made sure that the setting of the story is there because in the beginning part of the story, you need to put the setting and the main character and what happened to the character. Just give a very small problem in the beginning because the entire big problem should be written in the middle bit. Okay, just to give the reader a bit of a clue, okay, of what the story is going to happen next. So do not forget, if you haven't done the draft yet, you have to make sure that there should be the setting mentioned in there the main character and what happened. Just a small problem, just to entice the reader. Okay, now what we did in the revising stage. We used the tic-tac-toe to help us decide which part we have to take out from the story, or what things we need to include in the story. We also record our voices while reading the draft and ask for the teacher's comment about our draft. Here is an example of a model work done by a student. She posted it on Edmodo, and I will let you listen to a model recorded audio done by a student while reading her draft of the beginning part.
Lizzie and the Bunnies. One day there a girl who called Lizzie was running and she get lost. She found a lot of ways. She go in a way where she found a bunny. The bunnies help her to find her way. Lizzie say, "Yay! Thanks!" The end.
Very interesting one, remember? Okay, now what we did in the proofreading stage, this was yesterday's lesson. So we familiarized the editor's mark and applied them in the proofreading or editing our own drafts. So we studied this yesterday. If you can still remember, class, you know, the different symbols that we had yesterday. So the 3 lines here stands for capital letter needed. When we see this line, we're going to be using this slant line. It means that a lowercase is needed. If we're going to write a circular form, a circular shape like this with a punctuation, with the right punctuation mark inside of it, it means that your writing needs a punctuation. And then if you're going to write an inverted V, it means that you want to add a word in between the sentences or in between words. If you're going to write SB and on the top of a word, it means that that word needs a spelling check. And if you're going to write this worm-like figure, it means that you want to take a word out. So we applied all of these things in our proofreading. So this is my draft, and it has a lot of things to be corrected. So what we did, we used all of the symbols here in our proofreading part. This was our classwork yesterday. And then the homework is the rewritten version of your draft. So we rewrote your proofread draft into a final draft, applying all those corrections we did into a final draft. Look here. And now I think it sounds better, or it looks better. Always remember, kids, we always have to follow the writing process. Now you have to be ready for our next task. We will write the middle bit of your story, prepare your story map, and illustrate in a drawing what happened to your character in the middle part of the story. Remember, the middle bit talks about the problem faced by the character in the story. Now that we will be using the story map again to help us plan what will happen to our character next, we go back to the pre-writing stage of the story one more time. So, for reference, I attached it here, just in case you want to take a look about where I took the topics for a writing class. Or for our writing lessons. I will see you again tomorrow, kids. Please don't forget to do your work. For those who are not able to finish writing, finish them now. Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a great day.